Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you've had a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. It's been a while since we last recorded and we've last done an episode, but I thought it was a good time to come back to Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord, especially as we can now, even if it's only the beta version, we can now do 1.7, the new version of Bannerlord, which has changed a lot to do with the main campaign and the elements of it. So from here, it shouldn't really affect our campaign too much with the new updates coming out, as there'll be 1.7 point something. But generally going to now play on the 1.7, so everything is going to be the newest possible version that we can do, and we're going to try and get through this campaign on 1.7 as much as we can with the new effects. I'm not going to explain everything that has changed, we're just going to kind of go along through the campaign and see as we go along what has changed, and explain it then and there. But there are some pretty good changes. I mean, this is only the beta version, it's not the full-fledged 1.7, and this is kind of just like the early access version of it, but that's what we're going to be playing through today. So yeah, we're going to be starting a brand new campaign. We're going to get a little cutscene, and then we're going to choose our starting faction and head along through there. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me in the last series as well. I know it was the first series we really put on the channel, and you guys stuck with me through to the end, and we got 100 and something episodes in on that, so it was quite a long one. I'm hoping this one won't be as long, but what I'm really hoping for this series is that we're going to actually finish it. In terms of that, I mean, we're going to conquer the world. That's our ultimate goal, and this time round we should do that. We've got better knowledge, we've got advanced knowledge, and better tactics than when we went in on the last series, so this time things should go a lot better for us with all of our newly found knowledge and experience. So we're going to jump into it. We're going to start a new campaign. One of the coolest things they've added, I can't remember when they've added this, I know this isn't a 1.7, but they've added a whole kind of sequence, a film almost, to when you click new game, which I've never seen before. This is brand new for me. I just tested it out the other day to see just kind of what the initial changes are. And yeah, I'm not sure when they added that in, but it's awesome. So there's a whole kind of like a background. I'll show you. You get to see it anyway. But yeah, otherwise we're going to jump straight into it. And like I said, Happy New Year, guys. It's a few days late, I know, but Happy New Year. Hope you've had a good Christmas, had a good holidays. Sorry that I disappeared off for quite a while. I was just enjoying the holidays and getting a new job. So things have changed a little bit, but I won't be leaving you guys, and we'll keep these series going. Also going to be looking at Crusader Kings in the coming weeks for those who have requested that. So it will be my first time playing that as well. So you'll get to see me make lots of terrible mistakes, but also learn with me as I go through that game, because it does seem like great fun, but it's obviously a very different strategy game to Mount and Blade Bannerlord. But enough said. So I know I said I might look at doing a modded one, but because a lot of the mods that I've looked at are very unfinished, and with this new update and everything changing, I think I'm going to leave mods for a little while until they're just a little bit more polished off and a little bit more deep, because there does seem to be a lot of issues with them at the moment. And unless, well, there. I mean, it depends on the mods you're looking at. Obviously, I was looking at more doing a complete overhaul, change the campaign and the map, and it just, yeah. But I mean, if you're looking at more the little mods, which we might introduce throughout this campaign if it comes to it, because there have been a few that I've been looking at, but I'm not going to spoil it. But yeah, otherwise, that's enough said. Don't want to kill too much time, so let's jump into it. New campaign, and we'll show you guys this new sequence. So here we go.
For 500 years, the Calradian Empire dominated the continent. Its armies scattered foes before them. The strongholds of proud tribes crumbled beneath its engines of war. From the forests of the north to the wastes of the south, all was brought beneath the standard of their legions. Brutal as the conquest was, the wise agreed that it brought peace. The land, now untroubled by armies, grew rich, but empires, like men, grow old. Leaders lose a common cause. corruption spreads. Old enemies learn the Empire's tricks and devise new ones of their own. Until one day, the bonds holding the Empire snap. Then comes the Civil War, pitting all against all. A time of hatred. A time of suffering. But also, even in the worst hours, a time of courage and defiance. As new leaders arise, from new places and new peoples, to turn back the tides of destruction and bring forth a new world from the ashes of the old.
I mean, come on, how awesome is that? I absolutely love that. I was not expecting to see it at all, and it just kind of happened. It was awesome. Absolutely love that little title sequence. It's just fantastic opening to the game. So yeah, now we're going to make one of the most crucial decisions we're going to make. Who do we go with? So I think in the last series we chose Valandia, but then we kind of sided with the Empire and we went in the Imperial route. We could have a look at what culture we're going to go for. It doesn't necessarily determine who we're going to side with, but we want to look at what kind of benefits we want throughout the game. So the Valandians, all of these have changed, by the way. So the Valandians used to be you get more experience for your troops in battle, but now it's you get 5% more renown from battles and 15% more income while serving as a mercenary. You also get 10% production bonus to villagers that are bound to castles, and recruiting lords to armies cost 20% more influence. So generally, not all that bad. Sturgians have now gained this, which is awesome. So recruiting and upgrading infantry troops are 25% cheaper. So you can build up your armies for a significantly amount less. Armies also lose 20% less cohesion daily, which is fantastic, especially when we get to that late game. However, you suffer 20% more relationship penalty from kingdom decisions. However, there are also perks that counteract this, especially in the charm tree. Charm? Charisma tree, whichever one's called. I think it's charm. Yeah, you can get bonuses that counteract this, so you lose a lot less from kingdom decisions and things like that. The Empire gives you 20% less garrison troop wage, which again, coming to the late game, can make a huge difference. Being in an army brings 25% more influence, also very useful, especially as being in an army is going to cost you daily influence, so being able to gain 25% more is going to be quite helpful. But villages will grow at 20% less of their standard rate, which, I mean, depending on how quickly you go to own land, can make a big difference. If you come to it quite late, makes less so. You can also, if you're starting to gain a lot of land, you can just give yourself the best villages. So I suppose that it doesn't make that much of a difference. But the other two bonuses aren't that great. Azerai, always still focused on trade. You get 30% cheaper caravans and 10% less trade penalty. No speed penalty on desert, which is, I mean, yeah, absolutely brilliant if you're coming into the Azerai's territory. Obviously, you've got to take into account that that is the only desert. There's the Azerai territory, so it's only going to benefit you there. But daily wages of troops in the party are increased by 5%. Now, 5% doesn't seem like that much, but it is. Especially coming into the later game, your parties are going to start costing you a fortune. Crusaders, recruiting and upgrading mounted troops are 10% cheaper, kind of like the Sturgians, but only with mounted and only 10%. 25% production bonus to horse, mule, cow and sheep in villages, so a lot more money from that. However, you're going to suffer 20% less tax income from towns, so kind of counteracts that a little bit. I know it's from towns, but the villagers trade these items into the towns, so you are getting kind of 5-10% more, but you're losing that 20% tax. So you probably want to focus on having castles rather than towns. And then Battania. So you get 50% less speed penalty and 50% sight range in forests. Forests cover a huge portion of the central map and northern map. Towns owned by Battanian rulers have 1+ militia production. However, town projects are 10% slower. So honestly, I'm thinking we might go either Battania or Sturgia. The recruiting and upgrading infantry troops at 25% cheaper. That is obviously only infantry, whereas the Khuzaits would give us mounted, which could be very, very useful. Kingdom decisions, less cohesion, or we've got Battania, 50% less speed penalty and 15% sight range bonus in forests. Now, what I'm generally planning to do for the early game is I'm going to try and have a force of only cavalry. So as soon as we start in the game, obviously I'm going to have a few infantry and archers, a little mix, probably of 10 and 10, but then ultimately I want to upgrade. So when I get to clan tier 1, clan tier 2, I want to have a force that consists of only mounted troops. This way I can move around the map at incredible speeds, which means I can chase down caravans, I can attack lords on the road when they're on their own, and I can also escape from dangerous situations very, very quickly because all of my force will be mounted. It also means we'll be doing a lot more damage. So when we're attacking an enemy force, if our entire force is cavalry, we will just punch a hole straight through them, a bit like what the Khuzaits do, but we won't have any infantry at all. And the main reason I want to do this is so that I can move around so much more quickly, but it's going to cost me a lot of money. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to pick the Khuzaits, because yes, it would make recruiting and upgrading them cheaper. I'm not going to do this forever. This is only an early game plan, where I will stick with cavalry until I kind of become a force that needs to take land, and then I'll need to start focusing on infantry. So Sturgis still might be a good option, especially with the 20% less daily cohesion. So in that terms, I am torn between Battania and Sturgia. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Battania because I get 50% less speed penalty from forests, which do cover a huge portion of the map. It will allow me to move around the Empire, Sturgia, Battania and Vlandia with a lot of ease. The only lands that I won't be able to do that are Khuzait and Azerai. So it will be very helpful, and also gives us +1 militia production, which also is quite handy, especially coming into later when we want to build up militias quicker so that we can defend our lands. 10% slower build rate for town projects is kind of minimal, because we won't necessarily be worrying too much about town projects anyway. Obviously it does make a difference if we want to upgrade garrisons or upgrade our walls. That's 10% added onto that, but ultimately I think we can overcome it, especially if we get a good engineering companion as a governor. We can kind of overcome that barrier anyway. So I'm thinking we're going to go with Battania. And now we need to make our character. Skin colour does not matter. If we're going for Battania, what do we want to go for? Kind of, I don't know, it really doesn't matter, does it? Let's kind of go sort of in the middle. Maybe not like that, because that's not really fitting to the environment. So maybe, I suppose, no, if it was Sturgy it'd be very pale because of the cold environments. If you're in the woods, it's going to be sort of middling out there, I imagine. Voice pitch, keep it, I mean, generally quite central. They're very similar. Form a line, that's very imperial. That feels more Battanian. That feels more Battanian. Going with that, height, we want to be quite tall. We're Battanian, we're not Sturgeon, but we're Battanian, so we want to be able to move quickly, especially on foot, and height does make a difference to that, but we want to be quite tall anyway. We want to be towering over our opponents, but we don't want to be at the max height. So we want to be fairly taller than the average. Weight, we want it to be generally middling, but a little bit more. Build, I think that's just muscular. We don't want to be skinny. We want to be fairly well built, about the same as our weight, so about there. Face, and we could change all these aspects, but I'm not really going to bother. I might just, I don't think we can randomise an individual thing, can we? Random, oh no, we can. I mean, they don't make too much of a difference. I want to go with that because I just don't want it to be the same as what we started with. I'm happy with the blue eyes. Actually, am I happy with the blue eyes? We can change the colour. Can we go for a green to match our Battanian look? Let's go with that. Nose angle, got quite a big nose at the moment. But then if we go too small, I'm happy with that. Chin, pretty much the same as it is right here. That's going to make a big difference. That's what really changes the look. With Battanians, I feel like we need quite dark brown, not black, but dark brown hair. Kind of like that. We definitely want a beard. Always want a beard. We'll go with. It's quite nice, but do we want to go that much? I like a bit of stubble, but it doesn't show up. That's the only problem with that. Too much. We've also got to consider our age, so a bit would probably change over time. I want to go with that, I think. If we get a little bit less, that's what I'd go with, but I'm happy with that for now. And then we'll gradually grow it out. But then we want to go for our hair. Now again, we've got to consider that we're fairly young, starting out. So maybe something like that. That feels very barbarian, Battanian kind of. Could go with something like that. Could go with something like that. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Go with that. A little bit more tidy. Don't hate that either. I think we'll go for this for now. And then see how it develops over time. So I think we're going to go with that. Markings. I mean, do we want any facial markings? Probably not. The only reason I always say no is because you're not going to have this on 24/7, are you? This is something you're going to put on before battle. So it shouldn't be on there permanently. It should only really turn up when you're in combat. Or about to go into combat, I think. And I can't be asked to do that every time I want to go into it. So I'm going to say no. We're wearing a helmet most of the time anyway, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. Right, so we were born into a family of member of the chieftain's bodyguard. So let's have a look. What we want to focus on immediately. What we want to focus on is getting our probably stewardship, charm, and riding. So weapons wise, I think what we're going to go for is probably two-handed and bow. Maybe throwing, but probably two-handed. So that is going to do two-handed bow and vigour, which gives us a bit of health, but if we go healing, it gives us medicine, charm and intelligence. Tribespeople, control, throwing, athletics. Yep, we'd want to avoid athletics for the time being. This gives us two-handed and smithing. Now they've changed the whole layout of smithing now, so you can do smithing jobs for people. So even if you mess up, they still pay you. So I think we're going to be working on smithing a lot more as a way of getting our money together. So that might not necessarily be the worst thing, and it ups our endurance, which will help our riding. That's going to do our tactics and scouting. Not too worried about scouting, tactics would be nice. And bards, roguery and charm. So I think what we're going to go for is smiths here, because that gives us our endurance and two-handed that we want. Not going to put any more into two-handed if I can avoid it. I think one for now I'm happy with. Leadership and tactics and cunning, very, very nice. Two-handed and throwing. Attention to detail would be athletics and bow. Aptitude for numbers, engineering and trade. So trade would be nice, but we're not too worried about that because we're going to focus on smithing rather than trade. Charm and leadership, skill with horses. So that gives us riding, medicine, and another point in endurance. So I think we'll go for this, but that will be our last point in endurance for now. So we want to go for this. Like all village children, you helped out in the fields. You also herded the sheep. Athletics and throwing, want to avoid those two. Two-handed and smithing again would be nice, gives us a point in vigour, but we're going to try and avoid that if we can. Smithing and engineering, don't hate it. Medicine and scouting, medicine would be good, but we don't want to put 2 points into it. Bow and tactics plus a point in cunning, I think I'm quite happy with that. Trade and charm, kind of want to avoid trade, but charm would be nice. So I think we're going to go for hunted small game, which gives us a point in control and point to bow and tactics. There we go, so that's what we're looking at for our starting weapon. So we've got an axe, shield, and a bow and arrow, as well as a horse, hopefully. So yeah, so now we've got, as a youngster growing up in Calradia, war was never too far away. You trained with the Hearth Guard. So I'll give us a point in polearm. Now, to have a lance would be good for us. That is not an attractive face. And a point in riding would be good. but that does give us another point in endurance, which we probably want to avoid for now, because we're at 4. We don't need to overdo it. So we'll want something either in the way of social, intelligence, or vigor. 10 level skills, 10 skill points, sorry, to bow and engineering. I don't hate that. Attribute point to intelligence. I mean, at the moment we are using a one-handed weapon, so I mean we will be using a one-handed weapon for quite a bit of time, I reckon. That gives us riding, bow, and endurance again. That gives us polearm and one-handed. Which kind of really focuses on our melee skills, but we don't want all 3. We joined the Cairn, it gives us throwing and one-handed. March with the camp followers, which gives us roguery and throwing, plus 1 attribute point to cunning. Rode with the scouts, I think we're going to go with riding and bow, because those are the 2 things we're probably going to use a lot of. Bow for... yeah, I need a bow, especially early game. I think keeping your distance from an enemy until you get those good melee skills, having a bow is very useful for staying alive, so we'll go with that. And we've got our last one, so our endurance is level 5, we definitely don't want to touch that again. So we defeated an enemy in battle, gives us 1 to Valour, which I think is our character point. So that gives us one-handed, two-handed, 1 point to Vigour, plus 20 Renown. So I'm quite happy with that already. It ups our Vigour and gives us two-handed and one-handed. We've got Tactics and Leadership, gives us a point in Calculating and a point in Cunning. Both Leadership and Tactics are quite nice. You invested money in land, trade, smithing, intelligence. It does give us that intelligence point, which would be nice, but I'm going to avoid it. Polearm, crossbow, nope. Athletics and roguery is a no. Charm, steward, 1 attribute point to social, mercy, generosity, and honour. 5 renown. I think we're going to go with that because it gives us a social skill, charm, and stewardship. All 3 are things we're going to need. So we're going to go for that for now, and then we're going to try and up our vigour later on. And intelligence, so we're massively on endurance, don't need to worry about that in the future, so that we can avoid for now because that should carry us quite far. And we want to focus on vigour and, well, vigour, cunning, social and intelligence, probably more social and intelligence over cunning, but we'll see how we develop throughout the game. We've got 1 more point, so if you want to read that you can just pause it and read it. Obviously we've gone through all this before, but we want to pick our new story. So we subdued a raider, one-handed and athletics, 1 point to vigour. Drove off from arrows, it gives us control, extra bow point, really focusing on our bow skills there, and a point to tactics. Rode off on a fast horse, ups our endurance to 6. I mean, that's too much, it really is, so we don't want to do that. Roguery and tactics, plus our cunning, organised travellers to break out, so that gives us a point of leadership and charm. Could be very useful. None of those are doing intelligence, unfortunately, but we could get a point in vigour, up our one-handed and athletics. So I think we might go with that. Get some melee skills in there. So that's what we're looking at to start the game with. Looks like we don't have a shield anymore, but we've still got our axe, bow and horse. We're also just going to pick a random name. We got Rafald last time. Our family name, Ergion, Mick, Arlek, Griff, Ragged, Mick, Mengus, Garain. I like it. I'm happy with Garain. We'll go with Garain and our difficulty. So what do we want to put it on? So obviously the difficulty presets have now changed. You've got Freebooter, Warrior and Bannerlord opposed to easy, very easy and realistic. I did that in the wrong order. I think we're going to stick on Bannerlord and we're going to go full realistic on everything. And really make this quite challenging for ourselves, which probably means we're going to lose a lot of battles in the future. And yeah, it's a lot more people are going to die. It's going to be quite hard. We've also got Iron Man mode, which limits us to a single save file and automatically saves when you quit the game. This option cannot be changed later. Hold on. Iron Man mode limits you to a single save file. Right, yeah, so you can't reload any saves, but we're not going to be doing that anyway. So I'm going to leave it off. I mean, does it really matter? No, I'm going to leave it off just in case I do have any issues where I lose an episode and I do need to go back, because that has happened in the past. Enable auto allocation of perks for your members in your clan. No. or we'll do that myself. Right, I think that's everything we want to do, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start the game. We're happy with our character choices. This should be an interesting one. So, our brother and sister are called Farok and Aithene. This is our current brother, Niacin. So I'm not going to do the tutorial this time. If you guys haven't seen the tutorial and don't know about the combat, then please go ahead and watch the first episode of the last series I did, and the very first kind of half of that episode I do cover the entire tutorial, running through ranged weapons, mounted combat and melee combat. So if you guys want to see the tutorial and want to understand the game a little bit more, I suggest going back to watch that video. Otherwise I might do an updated one that's a guide in the future, kind of throughout the start of this new series. I'll do a video on that if you guys want to see it. For the moment we're going to skip through the tutorial and kind of skip that initial part of the game. So time is of the essence. We're going to skip through the tutorial, jump out here. We're going to get given our here we go. We're going to get given our first bit of the artifact for the Neretsi's Folly quest, and we're going to have to pick our family name, which of course we're going to continue the Scallion legacy. There we go. So now we're going to pick our banner. We're going to try and keep it fairly Battanian. Now last time I did make the mistake of picking a colour that was quite difficult to differentiate on the battlefield. So this time I think we're going to go for a nice, really bright green or blue that we can really tell is ours. Now we're going to be fighting for Battania. Well, hold on, we're not going to be fighting for Battania. We haven't decided that yet. We're just Battanian. So we can always change this colour in the future, but I think a nice green or blue is very, very easy to understand on the battlefield. And we can always change our colour depending on who we're attacking. So I think we're going to go for a blue at the moment. And then a secondary colour we're going to keep as a nice gold, because I think it's quite easy to see. Well, we'll go for white actually. From Battanian backgrounds, there's something like a bear would be quite cool. But we're also going to be mounted for the initial part of the game. These are all very imperial. These I feel are all very Battanian. We can go for a fish and be very, very peaceful and passive. No, I think I might stick with a bear. Quite like that. Or something like a stag. Yeah, less like that now. That's kind of cool. Just trying to picture them on a shield. I think either one of these two. Yeah, if we make that really big. No, I don't like that one. Well, actually, small it looks quite nice. I think we're going to go for the bear for now. And we'll go for that. Do we want it in gold or do we want it in white? I quite like it in the white, but that's kind of a mix. We'll go for that. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. We're probably going to change that later on anyway. So here we go. We've got our quest. We need to establish our clan and we need to investigate Neretsi's Folly. Now we're going to do this fairly early on in the game. We're just going to talk to the nobles and get through those quests, because it does become difficult, especially when people start dying. But the first thing we want to do here is we pick up some troops. So we head to Tavea, go recruit troops. There's one person. Obviously recruitment is now on the hardest difficulty, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to find men. I mean, we literally cannot recruit anyone there, which is not good. But actually, hold on, that's just Farron might be one of the people. He's also going to Regea. So we'll follow him. Dragon Banner first piece. So I just want to have a look at my equipment. We've got a one-handed axe and a hunting bow with arrows. Also got some fairly decent armour with a sumpter horse. So quite happy with that. And then we just want to have a look at our skills. So riding is 20, but we have the ability to go all the way up to here to level 100 without having to change anything. Got +4 horse speed, 0.8 manoeuvre, damage penalty 16%, max mount difficulty 20. So yeah, not too bad. We've also got a focus point we can put into something. I'm not sure if I want to do that just yet, or if I want to hold off. I mean, two-handed, we haven't got a two-handed weapon yet, so I don't want to put it into that just yet. Maybe bow skills, so we can have a look. Well, then again, maybe stewardship, because that can bring our recruitment costs down. which might be nice to start off with. So I think, yeah, we're going to put that into stewardship, and then we'll put our first level point into intelligence, so at least we can bring our wages down initially. So yeah, we're going to follow Farron here, see where he's headed. We've only got one man with us, so we'll try and pop in some villages along the way. Archon Farron, have you heard of Nerex's Follies? He has heard of it. Well, that's what some people call the Great Battle of Pendrake in the year 1077. Emperor Nerexes led an army accompanied by Cusates and Aserai to fight a coalition of Sturgians, Battanians and Valandians. It was a disaster for him, he died in it, but the victors didn't fare much better. Lucon has some thoughts about it, so that's our first one down. Only 9 to go. And we know that we can go to any of the leaders of any of the factions and they should have something to say about it. So we'll just keep an eye out. Won't worry about it overly too much, but I do want to get that out of the way fairly early on. So what we'll probably do initially, once we've got a few men together, we'll just travel around the world and we'll try and do a person from each of the factions. But like I also said, for the early game, I want to focus on cavalry. And I'm probably going to be able to get the most cavalry from Valandia and Cusates. But I also don't want to have all of the same type. I want to have a nice mix of different cavalry. So I want to get some from the Aserai, some from Valandia, some from Battania, and just have a general all-round mix of cavalry, but focus on only having that for the moment. Like we also said, for the time being, we only want to have really infantry on us at the moment, just so we can get around from the map, because 13 men is quite a threat even for this stage. So if we can get somewhere around 10 men together, should be a little bit better. I feel like Nephon is another person who might have something to say. No, maybe not. Right, 5 men together. If they attack us, I'm fairly confident we can take them down. I know they outnumber us massively, but because I have a horse and I can manoeuvre them around myself quite nicely, I can keep my recruits here. I'm loving the cape. I feel like because I'm Battanian I should have gone with the green. Might change it. But yeah, here we go. So we're going to try and kill off or distract as many of these looters as possible, so that when they charge against my men, they're over here for some reason. I thought I was going straight into them, but I'm not. It's always good when you miss the first shot. We'll try and go for these headshots. I have disabled a lot of the UI for damage done. We still get skill notifications. Like I said, we want to kind of drive away as many of these guys as possible. There's only 4, so it's a 4-on-4. They might absolutely demolish my men. Have to remember this is now on realistic difficulty. Ouch. Yeah, so I want to be real careful. Okay, my men are all dead. This is not the best start. But I'm still confident. I've got a bow, 21 arrows. Just got to get rid of their rocks so that I can take some stable shots. That's... yeah, okay, that was not a good shot. I might die here. I think I was overconfident. Got to remember that my skills are not what they used to be. But we can still do this, and we're still leveling up our skills. If they do capture me, it is only the beginning of the game. So it's not the end of the world. Don't know how I'm missing these shots. There we go. Surely can't have too many rocks left, but I'm pretty sure... God, this is not going well. I'm not hitting them. Aim lower, stop aiming for their heads, because we've only got 14 arrows. And I definitely don't want to have to go into the melee with these guys. Especially without a shield. Not that I'm going to, because they got me. Okay, so... got to take into account now, it's realistic on everything. But, did upgrade some skills there. So it's not the end of the world. We're going to get dragged around a little bit. If it was probably maybe a group of 9, it might have fared a little bit better. But it's not awful. I don't hate it. We've got some skills up. It's still a battle. We've got all of our equipment. We just lost the men that we recruited. And we've got a Vigler recruit there who's already better than normal recruits, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, We also need to try and do some missions as quickly as we can. Extortion by deserters is definitely not something we can do yet. Synopsis has got a mission, train troops. Not confident we can do that yet. There's 5 men there, but my health's very low, so probably don't want to engage anyone until we're at full strength. But generally, yeah. Keep away from them. We want to try and head towards Onira if we can. Keep away from forest bandits because they will mess us up. Something nasty. We'll try and pick up any quests that we can that aren't too difficult. Another Vigler recruit there, not bad at all. We do need to engage and destroy a looter party soon so we can get our money up a little bit more. Again, not something we can do. So it's going to be quite difficult to get started. This is one of the reasons I want to go for cavalry only. He is a gang leader, so probably don't want to pick up his quest. We've got 3 guys we can get from here. Could try and do a tournament soon. Okay, 10 guys there. Again, I would be confident if I had more health to take them down, but once we get to 10 men, it shouldn't be so much of a problem. Deliver the herd to Poros. Now that is something we can do. I will deliver them, and we'll get paid nicely for that, so we just want to avoid everyone now. They nearly... oh, they might catch us. They're faster than us, I think. Oh, we found their hideout. Something we can come back to. I think we might be faster than them in the woods. If we can get to the town, we should be safe. Yeah, we're fine. Cool. Let's head down here. If they were looters, I would have turned around. But because they're forest bandits and they all have bows, we don't have any men with shields. They would have really messed us up. There we go. We've got 8 men now. Morale's very low, so even with this amount of men, if we start taking too many losses, or in fact any losses at all, we won't do so well. We're going up now to Morenia. Head here, recruit troops. Got an Imperial infantryman, so that's good. Village needs drought animals. Right. If we just head to Poros and get this done. Villagers of Morenia. Keep an eye out for looters, but with 9 men we should be okay for any of the general bands that march around the area, except for 15s maybe, that's a bit much. But 6 we can definitely take on. We kill them, we can take their stuff, get a bit of money. That's not too bad. And we've got Viglers here, as well as an Imperial infantryman. So we have got some good quality men. Yeah, right in front of us. Okay, let's charge straight into them. I missed the shot. Need to get that bow skill up. We've lost 1 of our men. We've lost 2 of our men. Kill 1 of theirs. Oh, I'm losing men. Three men left standing out of the amount I had. That is not good numbers. Okay. We lost 2 men. Both recruits. And we've got 3 upgrades, which are all recruits. So we've got a bit of infantry now. And a bit of stuff to sell off. Also didn't think about the fact we're going to be a lot slower. That's not good. That's really not good. But that might save us. I'm low on health. I need to really focus and use my bow skills here. But yeah, what I was going to say is I didn't think about the fact having the mules is going to massively slow us down. Oh no. Okay, we're fine. We're faster in the woods than they are because of our starting perk. So we've managed to just escape them there. I think this is the man we need to talk to. Yep. There we go. So we've got paid there 900 dinar, and we got some charm points. Could escort a merchant caravan, but that definitely means engaging with enemy forces. So we've got a few men here now, which is good. Now we can shoot off start to explore the world a little bit more, but still keeping relatively careful. So ideally you want to pick up one more. We want to engage little bands like this. Maybe not 14, it's a bit much. But definitely if we can catch... God, they're everywhere. You never find this at the start of a game, I swear. All over the place. So 3, nice and easy. I'll try and take them down myself, unless they're mountain bandits with javelins, in which case might want to avoid them. He's going to throw his rock. It's missed me. I just want to get some hits in, really. Straight in the face. Nice. I'll try and manoeuvre around, shoot him in the face. Nice, I've got a kill there. Happy with that. If we can get the last shot on him. Beautiful. So I dealt with them quite easily. Didn't even get hit, which is really nice. And we've leveled up something there as well. So we've got our first bow skill. Bow control decreases bow accuracy loss due to movement. Bow equipped troops gain 5% damage. We haven't got any bow equipped troops. Increases your headshot damage bonus by 30%. We're going to go with that because that's going to benefit us a bit more. And riding. Full speed and nimble steed. So we've got increased charge damage and mounted troops gain 10% charge damage. Or we've got increased manoeuvring by 10% and all mounted troops gain 30% riding skill. We're going to go with that. That's going to benefit us more. We've also got an extra focus point, but we're going to save that for the time being. We're going to head towards Jalmaris and probably try and engage any men that we can on the way. Okay, so that's quite a significant number. So we've got 17 of them here. Obviously with better quality troops now. We want to keep these guys together and get our shields at the front. I mean, most of our men now have shields, so we can be a little bit more confident. Obviously morale is still very low. If we look at here, it says our morale at the top is 29. Also, I forgot to mention that when giving orders now, the world slows down around you. You can turn this off in the options. I haven't really used it that much, so we're going to see how it impacts the game. If it makes too much of a difference, it makes it a little bit too easy to give orders, we might turn it off. Okay, we've dragged a few of them away. We want to kind of lure more of them if we can, so I might need to get closer. I don't have a shield, so I can't block the rocks. That's 6, so if we can keep them separated like that, be nice. I'm getting hit bad. So it's just not having a shield, it makes such a difference. And them all having rock. Oh, lovely. Wasn't even trying for that, but I'm happy. See if we can get you. Oh, you moved. Still hit him. We might lose our men here, but hopefully they can kill enough. I can stay alive. I mean, we're doing quite well on the kills so far. Vigler's down. 2 recruits are down. Okay, now we're losing. Now we're losing quite badly, and I keep missing my shots, even though they're easy shots to get. That's all of my men dead. Just got to kill enough so that their morale breaks, but to be honest, I think with the amount of my men that they've killed, don't think we're going to get that morale bonus on them. I may have to kill them all if we can. We've got 16 arrows and we keep missing our shots, which is just appalling. Okay, got another headshot, so that guy's going to be low. If I can even remember who it was. We're going to try and keep them nice and grouped up. We've got another headshot there. Okay, another one dead. Just got to keep luring them away, getting the shots off on them until we either run out of arrows or there's few enough that we can just get in there and start hacking away. Another one dead. Really want to get these headshots, but with them throwing rocks, it's not nice. Even though they're rocks, they do a lot of damage. Okay, nice, another one dead. Only a couple left. I think half of my men are actually dead. Oh, that That's not nice. We've got 6 arrows and there's more than 6 of them left, which is unfortunate. Okay. I'm seeing 5. There was exactly 6. Even if I get all headshots, I don't think I'm going to kill them all. Okay, that's nice. Hopefully, if we can kill 2 more with 3 arrows, we might just be able to get them to retreat. There's 3 of them left. Oh, you fuck. That's not what I wanted. Straight through the middle of their heads. Okay, nice. There's 2 left. Now I've just got to try and not get hit, which is easier said than done. 2 damage. This might be hard with absolutely 0. It is an arrow. I mean, there are rocks everywhere. I could potentially lure him away. If we angle the horse so it takes the brunt. There we go, 1 left. Although my horse is about to die, so we may have to jump off because I don't want it to get lame. So let's pray we can kill 1 loser who's already injured. Okay, good. Happy with that. So, taking them down there. 7 of my men are dead. Only 1 is injured, so 1 man survived, and it was an infantryman. Oh yeah, that's not good. We'll take the loot because we can sell that off. If there's any more looters in the area, we may die. So let's hope we can get to Calradia nice and quick. Obviously wages are nice and low, which is good. But yeah, if we can get more battles like that and just gradually increase our skills, we should be okay. Yeah, head armour would probably be good. Give us a bit of protection against those rocks. We don't want to make ourselves weigh too much either. So that weighs less but gives the horse more armour. It's 428 dinars though, so I think we might get that. And we're only paying 11. We've got food, which is good. So we're going to gradually improve our horse's ability. The quicker we can get over to Valandia, the quicker we can get better quality troops and start really focusing on just getting cavalry. Plus if we do some missions over there, we should be able to recruit some more men. So we just kind of want to pick an area on the map where we can start focusing on building up our relations with people so that we can get better recruits. We've got some looters ready for sale. We're not going to recruit them into the party because they will, I mean, our morale's low enough as it is, and they're going to bring it down even further. So we'll sell them off here. Going to the tavern, we're going to sell off our prisoners for 10 dinars, see if there's any men. There's 2 recruits there. I picked 1. There we go. So we've now got 6. Oh, Jesus. I didn't see him. I think what might be a good idea is if I buy a 2nd quiver. We have to attack him. We've got 1 infantryman left. Infantryman left. So we're going to pull those guys as far back as we can. So that hopefully I can split the looters up enough. I don't think we're going to do this one, because I don't have enough men to kill off enough of the enemy. I've got to really be careful with my arrows. I genuinely cannot miss a shot. And what I should have done in Artisia was buy a crappy shield, even one of the little wooden ones, little square wooden ones, just so I can block the rocks, because they do get dangerous after a while. There we go, kill 1 straight away, and we've lured off pretty much the majority. 2 dead. Okay, let's keep this ball rolling. 3. Okay, happy with these results. Okay, this is going quite well. Let's not mess it up by going too slow. So we've got that group there. If we can try and split off another half out of these guys, then the ones that attack my men should be insignificant in number, although I've got to remember my horse is very slow. There we go, so we've got 2 more off there, so that means there's 4 going towards my men. No, we've got 3. So there's 3 going towards my men. They should be able to handle that. Yes, those bloody rocks. I think my men killed them all. Okay, he's hit me in the head twice. That's definite brain damage. Yeah, now there's too many of them. My men might be in trouble because I'm dealing with 2 people. And I keep getting hit with rocks. Jesus. Let's try and help. If we can, get an axe in there. Okay, nice. We should. Is he running? Charge. I think we're okay. I think we can handle this. Let's get some one-handed points if we can. Bow's looking good, but we need to upgrade our melee skills so that we can move a little bit quicker when swinging. Oh god. And generally try and not miss either. There we go. We actually killed them all. I don't think we lost anyone. So one person got knocked out. So that's a lot more efficient. So even with the gradually increasing our skills, we're getting a little bit better there. And we've got a few more infantry, although we did have 6 infantrymen before and they still all died. So we're going to head back into here. Do I want a shield? Or do I want another quiver? I mean, I could get a bigger quiver. If I'm firing arrows, then it doesn't matter, does it? Because I'm not going to be using a shield. Let's get another quiver. Then I can shoot a lot more. Let's keep moving. So we've got 6 men now. I don't think we've got any injured. Nope. I've got 1 prisoner though. So if we can pick up a Vigler, that's good. Happy with that. Thractore. Then we're nearly in Valandia's territory, so we can start getting a whole different set of men together. But Viglers are good too. Another Vigler, I'm happy with that. Right, let's keep going. Go to Yusang and pick up our first Valandian troop. Then we'll start picking up some quests in the nearby area as well, so we can improve relations. There we go, first bit of cavalry. We've only been here for a second. It's a good start. However, that is going to increase my wages quite significantly. But now, if we can start transitioning to cavalry only, we can hunt down groups of looters pretty easily and also take them out with ease, not just engage them. There's a lot of forest here as well, so we can get some good speed. We'll start taking out little groups like this. Not going to charge him in as he's on his own. I don't think that would be very smart, so we're going to dismount him. And then we're going to go, everybody charge. Where are they? I've gone past them again. Don't know how I keep doing that. And he hits me. Bastard. Did get him though. They've killed a Vigler. I mean, generally if they kill infantry, I don't hate it. So like I said, we want to transition to cavalry only. But we do need the numbers. Nothing here is better for me, so we get rid of it all. Or take it all rather. Head into Charis. See if we can pick up a quest, which there is one available. And Ingolfer, I'm pretty sure, is one of the people we can talk to about Neretzi's Folly. Oh, they actually have the right thing next to them, so here we go. I was there. I was just a young squire then. I've heard no sweeter music than the thunder of our hooves as we bore down on the Azurai rabble. We fell on them like a falcon plunges upon a rabbit. They had overextended themselves, chasing the Imperial archers, light foot before our knights. There was no contest. Let me tell you something. 9/10 of victory is recognizing when your enemy has made a mistake. The rash perish as swiftly as the weak, and they deserve it just as much. We should have gone on to seize all of the Western Empire. If Derthert had any manhood, we'd have done so. But his heart was never in the war. He believed he'd broken his oath to the Empire by helping the Sturgians, and it gnawed at him. He'd have made a fine lackey. Instead, he's our king. Well, he's not very happy, is he? Maybe he's somebody we should start warming up to. Does have a quest, but I don't think we're going to help him. Nope. So yeah, can't get any men from here, but we can potentially do army of poachers, possibly. Because they're poachers, you can actually talk them out. You don't necessarily have to fight them. We don't have enough troops, so he's saying we can't do it. Cool. Right, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here, because the first episode is always a long one. but I'm going to try and keep these episodes from now on generally quite short, but I'm happy to leave this one as quite a long introduction into the game. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. This is going to be our new series. We're going to take over the whole world this time. However, whether we do so joining a kingdom or creating our own like last time, I don't know. We're going to decide that later on. But we're just going to focus on ourselves, work up a little bit. We may become a mercenary, but possibly we'll have a look at that. If we really start to struggle on this difficulty and the changes made to the game, then we might become a mercenary. If not, we'll keep our current task, build up a force of cavalry only, and start hitting back against the world. But otherwise, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, to support the channel out and keeps you updated with everything coming out on it. Make sure to go ahead and join the Discord, and if you've got any suggestions, tips, questions or anything like that, please make sure to leave them down below in the comments, or go ahead and message me on Discord like I said earlier. But otherwise, guys, I will see you in the next episode. I hope you've had a good one, and Happy New Year yet again. Goodbye.